What is turn 3 at Kentucky to me? Somebody forgot to put the banking in. It's really slick down there.
You know, I think it's pretty flat getting in there. You know, it's kind of an odd entry and really flat transition into the corner. So yeah, it's really loose actually. A lot of guys, you know, fight the car kind of being free all the way down into the bottom and center of the corner.
Turn 3 at Kentucky pretty much reminds me of going racing on an ice skating rink. It's pretty flat, it's pretty slick. There's a lot of things that can happen in that corner. It gets pretty narrow sometimes, so you definitely want to make sure you got all the grip in your car that you can possibly have and try to get through there each and every lap with puckered butt.
Turn 3 at Kentucky is flat, loose, out of control. Whew, sketchy corner.
Loose in, no banking. Cars sliding around. I've never had a car that actually feels good going into that corner.
Turn 3 at Kentucky is a pain in my butt. It's like loose in, just terrible. Just terrible. Turn 3 at Kentucky is the whole lap.
Well, turn 3 in Kentucky definitely is a tricky one. It's a lot of grip in Kentucky, so it's very smooth, but you have to make sure that you make the bottom. For some reason, if you don't make the bottom, you won't make the bottom. And if you don't make the bottom in the beginning of the corner, you won't make the bottom later on in the corner. So I feel like for me, it's been very good to make sure I hit the line, and then I can go back to the throw.
Daniel, speak English.
Who was that? I will try, boss. Get him better,
Turn 3 in Kentucky is probably one of the slipperiest corners that there is in NASCAR. Even though you're running a pretty high speed, the banking seems to fall away from you there and almost gives you an unsettling feeling that you don't feel at any other racetrack. So it's a very tough corner and one that it takes about 30 minutes of practice to get your nerves up. But once you get it, you can be pretty fast.
Turn 3 at Kentucky is one of the most difficult corners I think that we have out of all of our racetracks. It's tough to get all that you can get in that corner every single lap and not make mistakes and get some of it back. So it's a tough spot.
Turn 3 at Kentucky is really flat on entry, so it's a treacherous corner.
Turn 3 at Kentucky for me is kind of treacherous. It's one of those racetracks that's unique, and we all know that turn 3 there is one of the hardest corners to figure out in all of NASCAR. It's just slick, you're on top of the track, and you can't really feel anything that's happening with the race car, so it's very tough.
Yeah, so turn 3 at Kentucky is very tricky. It's flat. So 1 and 2 is a fast corner, and you're carrying a lot of speed down the backstretch to enter turn 3. And the car is just really light because the banking's really flat on entry. So you're waiting for the car to load up, but you have to get further around the corner for it to do so. So there's like a no man's land for a couple hundred yards where the car just doesn't really know where it wants to be. Definitely one of the trickiest corners in the sport.
Turn 3 Kentucky. Well, with the new configuration and how it's paved, man, it's just tough. You really got to back up your corner. It's easy to get loose underneath somebody. You saw it last year. A lot of stuff happened in turns 3 and 4 because you try to get aggressive and the grip's just not there, and big things happen at Kentucky in 3 and 4.
All right, there's my. I don't like turn 3 at Kentucky. It's too flat. Needs banking.
One word: sketchy, man. It's probably the toughest corner we have to go through. It's just so flat, and you're carrying so much speed into that corner, and especially this year with the new repave, it was kind of one lane, and if you miss it, you were in big trouble. So turn 3 into Kentucky is very tough. It's hard to get your car to handle well into that corner because it's completely different than what you need at the other end of the racetrack. So that is a very challenging thing that teams face.
Turn 3 Kentucky is sketchy. I think last year I learned that at the end of the race. We were side by side in the Xfinity race, me and Eric Jones, and he got loose underneath me. It's the flat entrance to that corner gets your car light. So when it's side-by-side racing at the end of the race, when everybody's going hard, it's very hairy down there. We ended up both getting lost. So I guess the best way to describe it is sketchy.